I think that's how we'll roll.
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me. I don't like scripting stuff so much and planning stuff so much. Now, I do have all the other trainings kind of planned, like the Zapier training. I've got that all planned out already, and I've got an outline for that, and I kind of know exactly what to go over there. And to be honest, that was really easy. The Zapier training, I've got that. Because Zapier actually provides Zapier University. Zapier already provides like Zapier University, and they provide the outline, and that's, you know, essentially the course that I had to go through to become a Zapier expert. So I figured, you know, that one's easy. Chatbots, I know you got chatbots covered. I have like a 150-hour course on chatbots already created. It's just not as structured as yours. And then ClickFunnels. I mean, ClickFunnels I think is going to be really really simple. So I know between the two of us, we can fucking kick ass on these courses for sure.
Those are the three things, just to catch people up on what he's talking about. Those are the three things that are included in the program: are how to use Zapier, how to make money online, which is basically how we went from 0 to 60K in 2 months, and then a chatbot course. Those are the three things that lots of it's going to be recorded live, and a lot of it is already, you know, a lot of the technical, a lot of that kind of stuff has already been recorded and is already structured. So the more questions, the better, because this training is going to be, it's really, there was a ton of people who jumped on the opportunity to learn these things. And so you're going to have a lot of input in the training, but if you don't speak up and ask questions, we don't know what you don't know. So there's no bad questions here on these trainings, so feel free to throw those in the chat, and we'll make sure.
But if you're on Zoom, I would prefer you put the questions in the specific Q&A section that's there for the questions. That's a great place for it. If you're just not on Zoom because you're a loser and you're stuck on Facebook forever, I'm just kidding about being a loser, then I just put them in the Facebook comments. And just to answer your question right off the bat, is this training free for anyone? No, this training is not free for anyone. I don't care if you're already paying me $1 million a month. It is still not free for anyone. This first session, though, since it's an intro session, this is kind of free for the entire world because it's the first session. But the entire training, entire training series, no, it's not going to be free for anybody, because it's literally going to be at least 130 hours of my time, which is a lot of my fucking time. And then it's going to be quite a bit of Hector's time as well. So no on that. I'm going to go with no. Unless Hector, what do you think? You want it to be free? Should we make it free?
I've given too much shit away for free. It's time for success.
We're going to go with no. It is a low cost, though. Right now it's at $61, so you can get the entire training for $61, and it does go up $1 for every single person that purchases it. So if you purchase it right now, I believe it's $61. If you wait until tomorrow, it could be $100. So every single person that purchases it, it goes up $1. So I think we're good on time, where we can just go ahead and begin and start.
Let's dive in. I'll give you guys an overview, and today, and then I'll just kind of throw it over to John, have him fire away at you know, and kind of so you can get a peek behind the curtain, if you will. But if we were to take, you know, that webcam behind John, and we would not just see, you know, a digital marketer sitting in his office in a panda hat. I mean, what John has been able to create using these strategies that we'll talk about is, you know, a full-fledged software technology powerhouse. I mean, I don't even want to call it just a software company, because it makes most software companies look really, really small. But he's been able to create a real sustainable business with these things. And then he decided to take his talents online, and without having any prior experience, built an online community, generated over $30,000 in recurring revenue in like two months. And you know, and so we're going to get into how that happened, and we'll talk about the mindset. Then we'll talk about some of the tactics that he did, and you know, some of the things that you can take away from it. So
actually, and just to correct you, not that I like correcting you, Hector, but just to correct you, I'm actually $48,000 recurring in 11 days.
48,000. So he makes me look bad, because I'm not up on all the numbers. So almost $50,000 recurring. So if we were to expand that out over the year, you guys can do the math. That's a lot of money. And so now tier 5 is going to be a real force to reckon with. So John, let's jump into it, and let's jump in like into your mindset, because I think that not a lot of people know how you function and know how you work. And you kind of joke around about the fact that like you're always working, but I think a lot of people don't realize the hours that you put in, the time that you put in. I think we just saw your wife leaving the office and you're still, staying to work. So talk about the mindset. I think one of the things that I'd like to cover here is like your sprints, and just talk however much you want about that. But I know that you really have a really focused mindset that allowed you to create $48,000 of recurring revenue from scratch in a couple of months.
Sure. So for me, my mindset. All right. So first, let me talk about other people's mindsets. All right. So I ask this to other people all the time. I ask it. It's one of the screening questions that I ask before I hire somebody to work in my company. And I ask them a permutation of this question. Whether here the money system's a little different. So you can just say that I ask them the equivalent. If I pay you $1 million a day, or if I pay you $1 million a month, or if I give you an unlimited amount of money, what will you do? All right. And the number one thing that I hear from most people, and these are the people that I don't hire, by the way, these are the people that I'm just like, okay, great, awesome interview, get the fuck out of my office. The main thing that I hear from people is they're like, well, I would go on a vacation. I'd quit my job. I'd go on vacation. I'd go travel the world, and I'd see some stuff. I'd go out to eat, and I'd buy this shit and I'd buy that shit. And that's not me. Like if you gave me an unlimited amount of money, I'm going to work more. Like the more money that you give me, the more I'm going to work, because my passion and my ambition is to fucking understand my consciousness, is to understand the matrix of reality in which I actually live in. So, most people really, they have like a really simple thing that they want to achieve, right? They want to achieve financial freedom for what reason? So that they don't actually have to do anything, so that they can just, sit on a beach and drink alcohol or whatever, so that they could just be on a perpetual vacation. And they don't even understand that you would get so bored after some time, right? Like if you have all the money in the world and then you're on break, you go on like an infinite spring break. Well, you're going to get so bored after a time. Like you have to do something. At least I do, right? My passions and my ambitions would not allow me just to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to be on vacation. I'm going to go. Like I get people all the time, they say, well, I'd buy a private jet. Where would you go? Well, I don't know. So what the fuck are you going to do with that private jet then? So it's like, for me, I want to create, something bigger than myself. I want to create something that I want to actually help humanity and solve humanity's problems. And for that, I know that I'm going to have to be able to acquire all the greatest minds in the world, and be able to acquire all those greatest minds in the world. I'm going to need a lot of fucking money. All right. So it's like, for me, everything's kind of in stages, right? I've got this first goal, and that's just my step. All right. Like right now, people, for the last 12 months, I started back in December. This is kind of like in the pinnacle where me and you met, Hector. Is like, I first emerged into the internet, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do this chatbot course, my first little info product. And I'm going to use this course to go out into the internet and, try to accomplish my first step. And, what was my goal? My goal was, by the end of this year, I could fire all my fucking clients, and we could be fully funded by a Facebook group. Like I could literally raise the entire money to cover my company and fund 35 full-time software engineers from a fucking Facebook group, from Facebook. That was my ambition. That was my goal that I set to myself. And I told my wife, I was like, you know what? Don't worry, at all costs, by the end of this year, that goal will be accomplished. All right, so I accomplished it. And middle of this month, I actually accomplished it, a little bit before the middle of this month. And did I take a break and say, okay, great, I've got my dream, I accomplished my dream, I'm done? No, I realized, okay, I got to that first step. Now I work more. Now I'm in more overdrive, trying to actually get to that next step. So I think for most people, the first thing that you have to do is set a higher ambition for yourself. Like have a much higher ambition go on vacation for the rest of your life.
So I would ask you, like, what for a lot of these internet marketers, and we don't have to talk. We've joked a lot about the typical affiliate internet digital marketer and kind of their habits and mindsets. But like, what would you say to most digital marketers who are just trying to make money? Like, how do they create a higher vision, or how, like, I don't know. I'm curious for you guys who are watching, like, what would you say to that? Do you have an answer for that? Or John, like, what have you found with a lot of these, internet marketers that you've been working with recently?
Well, it's kind of a hard question to answer, because a lot of my community and a lot of my partners are internet marketers, all right, and they're affiliate marketers, and they're internet marketers. So I really don't give two fucks whether I offend them or not, to be honest. But I don't want anybody salty with me and be like, okay, John, you're an asshole. I don't know if it's teachable, Hector. I don't know if it's, I mean, you have it or you don't. You have an ambition and you have a passion, or you fucking don't, all right? It's like, look, you yourself have to evaluate your own life. Like, what are you, it's like, are you happy being a mediocre ass motherfucker? Are you happy with just knowing that you have a fucking potential and you're at literally this much of your potential? Are you satisfied with that? If you're satisfied with that, then there's nothing I can really do for you. Like, I can't teach you that drive, right? I can't teach you work ethic. I can't instill in you a motivation and a drive to reach your fullest potential. That's something that I think it's encoded in your DNA. You're either born with or you're not born with. So
there you have it, guys. Fucking figure it out. Let's is there anything else when it comes to, I'd love for you to, is it defined, and if you don't want to talk about it, then that's okay too, but you mentioned like your sprints, and I don't know if you've shared that with a whole lot of people in the community, because I feel like if the community and the partners adopted that same mindset, I mean, how much the community could crush collectively. Because I know that you take that so seriously. So what are your sprints, and what is that all about?
Well, so we can have different sprints here. I mean, obviously we have sprints in development where we set realistic goals in development on, at all costs, these things need to actually get done in this amount of time. And then we just kind of go all out and we do those things in development. All right. So it's really necessary to set, achievable goals, right? To set an achievable goal. So to me, that's actually a very necessary thing, to set an achievable goal and have a sprint to actually accomplish that. And we do that all the time in development. So all the time in development, that's how, traditionally over the entire course of building all the software products for our clients, we always work in sprints. That's just how software is developed. You go in and say, okay, hey, what could we possibly do? Well, we could do all these things. All right, let's get a sprint. Let's, we're going to work nonstop until this is actually done. And then while that's happening, we're off planning, as an engineer out doing that. And while they're out doing that, we're planning on, what's going to be the next sprint after this. And, obviously sometimes you don't meet your goals. Sometimes shit from one sprint carries over into the next sprint because you weren't able to do it. Me, on the other hand, I don't really necessarily, I can't say that I would really recommend this to other people, because some people would consider it, unhealthy, or just it's not the life that they want to live, and that's totally fucking fine for people to do what they want to do. I know what my goals are, and I know what I want to accomplish. All right. I don't have a social life. I don't really like people. I don't like to interact with people, because I feel that most people are simple-minded. And if I gave them $1 billion, what would they do with that $1 billion? Would they go build a fucking particle collider and actually understand, the core elements of the universe? No, they would go fucking buy some name brand clothes and some fancy ass fucking watch, and they'd go sit on a beach, and that's it. That's the fullest that they would live their life with that money. So like, why would I go want to just intermingle with those people and hang out with those people? So me, when I go on a sprint, I just work till I collapse. You know, I work and I work and work and work until I just need to go to sleep. And my body's like, yo, John, you need to go to sleep. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'll go to sleep. And then I'll sleep for a little while. And then, you know, I'll wake back up and I'll do it all over again. So for me, like how I live my life is I don't want to do other stuff. Like sometimes, yeah, sure, every once in a while. So my sprints really actually are like 6-month sprints. And I basically stay over here. I work for 6 months. I work as much as physically possible. Like you said, you just saw my wife. She went home. Most of the time I will go home with my wife just because she really sucks at cooking. And so I just make her food. So I cook the dinner for her and stuff. And then, so I go home, I work all day. I go home, I make dinner. And then I got an office at home. After I make dinner, I go back to work. Why? Because what else could I do? What's my options? I could take a break, right? I could go fucking on a nice little leisurely stroll with my wife, and we do that. But whenever me and my wife go on leisurely strolls, trust me, we're not talking about the fucking weather. We're talking about what other products could we build that will either, one, change humanity and help the world, or two, make a shit ton of money so that we are ourselves enabled and empowered to follow our own passions. So my sprint is just forever. You know, I work like 6 months, and then after 6 months, I'll take a 14-day or 20-day vacation. The last one I kind of spent some time with you, and then traveled around the U.S. to, you know, all the weed legal places. So I work hard and then I relax hard, you know, so.
Stellar. Stellar, guys. I'd encourage you guys, if you guys want to get into anything in terms of mindset, throw them down there. But we're going to shift gears a little bit because I think as we're recording this, we'll get into more and more of some of these other topics in a lot more detail. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about, though, which I think you do really intuitively, so is creating products, right? And figuring out what you're going to sell. And I don't know if it comes easy, but I'd like for you to just talk about why software and why you got into software and why you saw the benefits, you know, the benefits of a SaaS company and all, you know. I think for people who are part of the Tier 5 community, this is great because it's kind of this is a, you know, great thing to use for your pitch. And for the rest of you who are figuring out what you're going to sell, I think John understood a lot of things and he honed it. You know, you could sell lots of things. You can sell services, you can sell, you know, digital products, physical products, or you can sell software. And so John, you chose software, and I know you feel really strongly about all the benefits of what software can provide. So can you talk about that and what goes into your mind when you create a software?
Sure. So, I mean, so the answer to that question is super simple. Like, I chose software because it is what I was really fucking good at doing. It's what I enjoy doing. So it's like, literally, I would build software for free. And I have lots of times build software for free. It's what I'm passionate about. So for me, it was like, a super easy decision. Like, okay, what am I going to do with my life? Well, what the fuck do I want to do? All right. At core. All right. So at my core, my passion is this: understanding what allows me to be, you know, I think, therefore I am. What allows me to be a conscious little being in this reality with all my little sensors going around and observing this fucked up little reality that we live in? What allows me to do that? Well, this thing right here, my brain, my consciousness. Well, what enables that? Well, to me, it's an algorithm. It's a learning algorithm. It's a piece of software, right? I have embedded inside me biologically, I have a software called DNA that tells my cells what they want to be. You know, how do you be? My consciousness is essentially just a network of connections. It's a neural net. Again, a software, right? So at the end of the day, my core ambition, what I want to do is decode my consciousness and just answer a basic question. Why am I here? Why am I able to be here, right? So I understood that the closest thing for me to be able to ever understand this or decode my consciousness, which is my passion, is software, is to go into the software field and begin to actually understand software. So that's what I did. I chose software as a career. So whenever it comes down to selling something, you know, Why did I pick chatbots as my first info product? Because I love chatbots and I'm passionate about chatbots. And I know that, look, I can launch a course and it could fucking crash and burn, or it could make millions, right? Either way, I could make money or I could make no money at all. So I choose something that I enjoy doing and I'm passionate about. Well, if I don't make any sales and I don't make any money, I'm not going to go home and cry about it, right? I'm not going to be. Now, if I choose something that I hate doing and I just detest and I get no joy whatsoever from doing that thing, and then I don't make any sales, well, I'm not going to be, I'll probably kill myself. I'm not going to be really happy at all. I'm going to be distraught about that. If I do make sales, I'm going to be pseudo happy, right? I'm going to be halfway happy because I got some money, but I had to do a bunch of shit that I didn't want to do, all right? So if I go in and choose something that I'm passionate about and I actually enjoy, well, then guess what? To me, it's like the smartest thing that you could do because it's an all around winner. All right. So I don't make any money. Fuck it. I'm doing shit that I enjoy anyway. So great. I'm happy because I'm doing something that I enjoy. If I do make money, well, then I'm like doubly happy because I'm doing shit that I enjoy. Plus I have money, and it's most likely, I would say, going to be an exponential amount of times easier for me to sell and convince people to buy my thing if they can understand this dude is passionate about this. This dude loves this, you know? It's like, so for me, it was a no-brainer. Software is a no-brainer.
And I think that some of the benefits, right, like in terms of practically speaking, are that obviously it's recurring, you know, it's something that has low overhead and all those types of things that just make it more profitable once you start selling stuff. So, John, you chose Facebook and you use Facebook groups as a route to get, you know, customers. I think one of the biggest things that people have a challenge with for whatever reason is like getting that first customer or going out there and actually selling stuff. So you at the very beginning didn't, you know, chose not to utilize very many ads, if at all. So walk me through kind of what your thought process was when you wanted to go out there and, you know, start out getting community members and then partners and eventually getting to this point where, you know, you have people paying hundreds of dollars every month to invest in, you know, to the future of Tier 5.
So that was, for me, again, that was relatively easy because like I said, I don't really like people that much. So at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck if you buy my thing or not. I don't give a fuck if you go badmouth me on the internet and say, hey, John's stupid. I don't give a fuck if you comment on my Facebook post and you say, John, all you ever do is post about business. It's my fucking Facebook page, all right? So it's like, for me, what I see in other people is they're scared to put themselves out there because they're scared to fail. They're scared that, you know, hey, if I do this, people are going to make fun of me. Or if I do this, no one's going to buy my shit. Who gives a fuck? Like, at least that's my philosophy. You buy my thing, great. You don't buy my thing, like, am I going to die because of that? No. So it's like, for me, for me, it was like, all right, so I've got LinkedIn. Like, I don't really know shit about marketing, all right? I don't want to go spend a whole bunch of money on advertisements when I don't know what I'm going to do, all right? I did use the software to go in and find, you know, 1,000 marketers across the United States and start a dialogue with these marketers, and not one single marketing company would guarantee me results. Not one single marketing company would say, look, if you give us X amount of money, you're going to get X amount of return. We're going to produce these results. Well, for me, all right, if you give me X amount of money and you say, yo, John, I want this software, I'm going to say, yo, it's going to cost you X amount of money. I'm not going to tell you, I don't know if I can build this shit or not. You know, I don't know if you're going to get it or not. I'm going to guarantee you this thing that you want, as long as you give me X amount of money, it will get built and it will work. All right. So since I couldn't get any guaranteed result from a marketer and they were just like, well, marketing doesn't work like that, we don't know if people are going to buy or this or that, then to me, I can't do that investment. You know, I can't fucking pay you X amount of dollars and you not be able to tell me what result that I'm going to get from. That's stupid as hell. I'm not going to do that. I mean, I don't understand why anybody else is going to do that. So So I didn't really have any other option, you know. It's like, well, what else do I do? Okay, well, I did have some friends on Facebook. I mean, I do have friends on Facebook. So it's like, all right, that to me, that was a good venue. Okay, well, I can go to Facebook and I can just be honest and tell people what is it that I want to do? What is it that I'm trying to accomplish? If you like it, great. If you don't like it, well, you know, we don't have to fight about that. So
yeah, I think you nailed it about putting yourself out there. So I, you know, my goal here is to kind of structure this and to help it be relatable for all of you guys. So I'd love for you to get some feedback on what John has said so far about mindset, about, I love that the answer to every question is it's so easy. And what I think John just does a great job of is just taking a lot of action. And he doesn't count his misses. He doesn't care where he fucks up. He doesn't, it's never, he just keeps going in the right direction over and over again. And, I think that's why he's been able to do that. So
that, the community is a year-long thing. All right. The community's kind of been like, all right, so I technically physically started talking about the community back in May. That's when I opened up the doors to the community. All right. And I opened it up literally when I first opened up the community, it's fucking $10 a month. Like I opened it up $10 a month. All right. Then I made it like $15 a month. Then I made it $17 a month. Then I made it $25 a month. Then I made it $97 a month. All right. It's like, you don't know how many messages I got from people saying, John, you're all over the place. You don't know how to make a fucking offer. You don't know anything. Yeah. You don't know how many marketers literally went out of their fucking way to send me a message to tell me, John, no one cares about you. No one cares about your product. They don't fucking care about you. All they care about is what you can do for them. John, you don't know how to make an offer. You have no consistency. You just change shit up all the time. Big fucking deal. Like, I don't know what I'm fucking doing. I don't have a degree in marketing. I don't have a degree in fucking offer creating. To be quite honest, if you want to be quite honest and cut the marketing bullshit, I don't have a fucking degree in anything. It's like I fucking didn't finish college because I couldn't fucking stay out of jail, because I fucking have this stupid personality where it's fucking, I don't like people confront me and think I'm not going to confront them back. All right. So it's like, it's not like I had a book on, okay, I'll do this, I'll do this. I mean, probably there are books there, but, and I'm sure there's lots of books. I never took a course, It's like my thought is why, okay, sure, I could take a course and I could just go, I could go take somebody else's information and I could just copy and paste what they're doing. And that may or may not work. That's not for me. I like to discover on my own. I like to make my own path. I like to figure out on my own what it is that I'm going to do, because I feel that at the end of the day, if I do that, if I fail, fuck it, I fail. But if I succeed, I feel like my internal satisfaction is going to be, an infinite amount of times higher if I do it on my own. I'm going to feel, hey, I accomplished something, as opposed to, okay, I read a book and dude says, do this, this, and this. Then I'm not going to feel so great about myself. So it's like the whole community thing, it was a whole work in progress. It was like every day I'd be like, okay, how can I do this? How can I accomplish this? Well, let me try this. Did that work? No. Okay. Well, let me try something else. Did that work? And yeah, sure. People, like I said, I had plenty of people message me and tell me I was stupid. I was a fucking idiot, that, I needed to learn this or I needed to learn that. Fuck it. That's like, what do you think I'm doing? And that would be my response. Like, what the fuck do you think I'm doing right now? It's like, I'm learning. I'm trying to learn. Okay. Just let me learn. So.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people have to go through that in business. I don't know what business owner that has built a thriving business that hasn't faced a ton of rejection in some capacity, or paid somebody to deal with all that rejection for them. So I think that's just a natural part of building it. I'm very curious, because we could go into it, and I don't know if you guys, if this is where you guys want to take it, in terms of how John went out there and utilized like Facebook groups. Like I think this actually would be good. So you went out there, and I think that you did a great job of finding other Facebook groups that had people who would be great targets for and ideal customers for tier 5. So what was your mindset in kind of infiltrating and utilizing other people's Facebook groups to get more users, to get more partners, to get more people, you know, interested in what you're doing?
Well, so the first part was obviously targeting and figuring out, you know, where are there people at that could essentially use the stuff that I'm selling, use the stuff that I have, and they would buy it. Like, where are those people at? So that's half, for me, that was half the battle. Okay, find out where these people are at that could buy my stuff and could benefit and use my stuff. All right, so now I figured that out, and I had a list of, you know, these different groups that there's a bunch of people in that group, and they could use my stuff if they only knew about it. They would benefit from my stuff if they only knew about it. They would probably buy my stuff if they knew about it, or if they just liked me, they would probably buy my stuff. All right, so that was kind of part one. Part two was like you said, infiltration. Part two was like, okay, so out of these groups, which ones could I provide which ones could I go get known in this group and be a known person in this group, and it not make me want to kill myself, right? It's like, all right, so I identified, okay, there's a whole bunch of people in these Facebook ad groups that could really use my software. What do I know about Facebook ads? Not a lot. What do I want to learn about Facebook ads? Not a lot. So what value, like, how am I going to go get known in there? Now, I do have one option, and it's worked before, all right? I do have one option, it's worked before. I could go ask a bunch of stupid questions, right? I could just go ask questions in that group, and then they would, you know, people would come and they would answer my questions, and they would start to see me. Now, if I do that over and over again, what's going to happen? Most likely, like, everybody in that group is going to think, well, this dude's not too bright. You know, he's not too smart because he just, like, always needs help. So this guy just always needs help. I wanted the reverse thing. I wanted people to think, okay, this guy's just always helping. He's just always here helping somebody. So I narrowed down those groups, like, okay, what are the groups that I could go in and I could easily help people and I could easily provide value to people? So I found those groups. And, like, for me, luckily I haven't got kicked out of two of them. The other ones I got kicked out of because I don't know if you guys noticed, but what tends to happen if you go in somebody else's group and you create more value than they do, it's like MiniChat. Take MiniChat, for example. Got kicked right the fuck out of that group. Why? I gave a free training. 35 hours worth of free training. I was doing shit for free in that group that the admins were charging for, and were actually doing a lesser training. They were charging, $500 for a simple ass fucking training, and I'm giving a 35-hour training for free, teaching you how to become a complete fucking ninja. So if you do shit like that, odds are those admins are going to be like, well, can't have this guy here. It's like, why would people buy our stuff? So I just found the groups that I could go in and provide a value in. And it wouldn't be, like I said, again, it wouldn't be a headache for me. I wouldn't sit there like all day long and be like, man, I hate doing this. I don't enjoy doing this. So it had to be somewhat easy for me. So I just found those groups and I targeted those groups. Like ClickFunnels, ChatFuel, MiniChat, those groups. I mean, anything about chatbots, I can easily go in and do stuff there. Anything about like Dialogflow, I can go into that group and help people out with that because I know that stuff. ClickFunnels, I can go in there and help people out there because most, a lot of questions are technical questions now, like the marketing questions and stuff, and creating the awesome offer and stuff. I can't really help so much on that, but a lot of the technical questions I can easily go in and just answer those questions.
So a lot of it has to come with being able to. You talk about providing a lot of value, and I think that you obviously understand a lot about where the value is that you can provide, and you really double down on that. And I think that a lot of people don't realize the impact of just being helpful, right? Of not only needing help. Yes, that's one way to kind of garner attention, but genuinely being helpful. And I've seen people do that like in groups, and then I've also seen people, and I don't know what your experience was. I'm sure you've had a lot of one-on-one conversations with people, but where where it goes down in the DM. You know, they build their business, they create interest, awareness, they send their links, everything happens through Messenger, and it's a little bit, you know, more one-on-one. But I do know that there are a ton of affiliate marketers, a ton of people who have built you know, a big business just sending links to people in, you know, through Messenger. So it comes down to value.
I don't do a lot of the Messenger stuff myself. Like, I don't do a lot of the direct DM stuff myself, because it's like, most people, if you think about it, Hector, somebody right now, they some random person you don't know, they DM you, all right? What do you naturally assume is about to happen? They're gonna ask you to buy their crypto shit.
No, I'm gonna pitch you on something, right? Yeah.
You know, it's like, most of the time you don't expect, okay, some help is coming my way. You expect, okay, this dude is going to ask me like 6 questions. If I'm lucky, this dude is going to ask me a couple questions about myself arbitrarily, or about my business arbitrarily, and then they're going to try to sell me something. And in that way as well, it's like, it's one person that sees that. Like, I see that happen. Like, even in ClickFunnels, I see that all the time. It's like, and you'll never see me do it. Like, you'll never ever see me do it. I'll see somebody ask a question in ClickFunnels, straightforward question, simple ass fucking answer, and you'll see like 6 people, check your DM. Sent you a PM, sent you a PM. I don't do that. I'll just go in and I'll post the fucking answer right there on the comment. If you want to direct message me afterwards, my likelihood that I'm going to be able to influence you to buy my shit is going to be much greater, because you initiated the conversation. All right. Whatever value that I give you, whether you don't buy my shit, whether you don't get into my little funnel and become my little friend, and eventually you get to see whatever I'm offering and end up buying it, guess what? Everybody else in that group got to saw that, hey, dude asked question, 6 people said check your DM, 1 dude just gave answer for everybody to see. I like that dude. Let's go check that dude out. And that's happened over and over and over and over to me. People have literally messaged me and said, hey, John, I saw you answered that question on ClickFunnels. Could you help me with this? At that point, will I continue a conversation through direct messenger? Yes, sure. But I'm never going to help somebody out of the get-go saying, hey, look, check your DM. Because to me, if somebody did that to me, I would just instinctively feel like that person is going to try to sell me something. They don't actually really want to really help me. They want to try to extract some money, which there's nothing wrong with it, wanting to extract money from people, but if, in my opinion, like I said, there's nothing wrong with wanting to extract money from people. But in my opinion, if people get the impression that that is your end game, if that's their first impression of you, like, yo, this dude just wants to get some money from me, your mountain becomes a lot steeper. You know, that mountain that you have to climb to get that money out of that person, it becomes much steeper. I don't want to climb up a mountain. I want to roll down a fucking hill to get money, is how I want to do it.
All right. So let's take it from the perspective now of someone who, let's say they're part of the Tier 5 community. You know, if someone is part of the Tier 5 community and they're coming to you and they're like, you know, I bought this course, but what are the first steps that I should do? You know, we talked about mindset, we talked about offers and kind of awareness, but like in your head, like, what are people either not doing, or like, what is in your head the first step that they should be doing after this training?
What is the first step that I think people should be doing after?
Yeah, what are people not doing every day that they should be doing? Like, I think that there's this obvious answer or the obvious question is, okay, now what? So what do I do, you know, with this? What does this mean that I should be focusing on every day? Or, you know, is there something that if people just did this, well, shit, their life would be online, you know, making money would be so much easier.
Well, I would, to me, I would have to say, start being yourself. That, to me, that's what I would say. Be your fucking self. Like, I see so many people, and it's like, they're scared to be themselves. They're scared to be who they really are because they feel that they're not going to be able to make money that way, or they feel like, okay, people aren't going to like me, or people are going to make fun of me, or, you know, I'm not going to be able to make my sales, or this guy told me I should be this way. Like look at most of the internet marketers, all right? Like if you look at most of the internet marketers, I fucking hate it myself, but if you look at most of them, every time they do a live video, it's like, if you're here on the live, hashtag live. If you're here on the replay, hashtag replay. Or if you're getting anything from this, hashtag this fucking comment. You know, smash these likes, smash that. And from my perspective, why are most people doing that? Because they saw somebody else do it, right? Somebody else is doing that, so they're like, okay, well, let me just follow the crowd and be like everybody else and do what everybody else is doing. Me, whenever I do a live, I don't give two fucks if you hashtag live. I don't give two fucks if you hashtag replay. I never tell you to do that. I don't care if you smash a like. I don't care if you smash a heart. You know, I do care to some extent. Obviously, it motivates me whenever I see that. And, you know, I'm looking and I just see all these hearts and all these likes. Yeah, sure. Does that motivate me? Yeah, sure. Do I enjoy that? Yeah, obviously, of course. But from my perspective, if I have to ask you to do that, right? Like if I have to ask you to share my video, if I have to ask you to comment on my video, if I have to ask you to like my video, I've done something wrong. Like, so for me, I don't want to trick the Facebook algorithm into showing my fucking content to more people. I want my fucking content to go out to more people because they just fucking ultimately literally enjoy my fucking content. That's why you should like my shit. That's why you should share my shit. And like, I see so many people out there, and like I know for a fact, like, I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I can assume that deep down inside, they're not happy with what they're actually doing. You know, they don't feel like they could just go out and be themselves. You know, I see people there, they won't fucking go live. Like, even I have community members and they're like, you know, hey, John, I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with this. I go look at their Facebook profile. They've never went fucking live before. And I'm like, well, why will you not make a live video on Facebook? And oh, well, I'm not comfortable with that. Like, what are you not comfortable with? Well, you know, I'm not good at it. I don't know how to do it. And I'm like, well, who gives a fuck about that? It's like, you want to know how many people out there that are your age and they're in your demographic and they also are not good at fucking Facebook lives and they're also not comfortable and they're not doing it right now because they feel that way. And if they see you do it, it's going to fucking draw them into you and they're going to fucking love you and they're going to follow you and you are going to actually give them inspiration to do the thing that they're actually not willing to do because of this uncomfort level. So it's like, I can understand on the internet, you know what? Like, I have made Facebook ads before, and I've had so many fucking people troll me and fucking leave stupid comments and say, you know, I look like a drug addict. I look like I'm fucking strung out on drugs. And I'm not strung out on drugs, but I've been there before. You know, I spent a good amount of my fucking life in and out of jail. I spent a good amount of my life as a fucking drug dealer or as a fucking, if you want to call it a drug addict, sure. You know, big fucking deal. So it's like, people are just really scared to be themselves to some extent, and I would say fuck that. I mean, be yourself. Why can't you be yourself? From my perspective, if you can be yourself, if you're not yourself, right? If you just put on a facade, eventually that facade is going to wear off, and people are going to fucking find out that okay, you're not really like that. You're not really a nice person. You're not really, you know, that smart of a person or whatever facade that you've painted, and all the progress that you've made, just like that is going to be gone. Like just like that. You think there's loyalty? Like if you think there's really actual loyalty, there's not. So all the progress that you made is just going to instantly disappear right in front of your eyes whenever people realize that you're just putting on a front. If you're real, all right, if you're just authentic and real, if you're just really yourself, all right, if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, tell somebody, look, I don't fucking know. Like so many trainings I've done, like even chatbot trainings I've done, and I just straight up told people, like, look, they asked me, okay, John, how do you do this? And I never said, like, never once did I say, well, that's not on this training. We're going to do that on the next training so that I could go figure out, you know, the answer and then come back for the next training. I would just say, what? I don't fucking know how to do that. But guess what? I've got a brain. Let's go figure it out together right now. All right. So if you're yourself and you can just be who you really want to be and who you enjoy being, Is your road going to be a little bit harder? Maybe, sure. I can't tell you if it's going to be harder or easier, but I can tell you it's going to be much more sustainable, and it's going to be much more sustainable, and you're not going to have to worry about people one day figuring out you're not who you claim to be. You're something else. You're not actually going to have to, you're not going to have to worry about that, right? And most likely, the people that you attract are like me. I could not cuss. Like I could literally not cuss, and I could fucking put on a shirt and tie, and I could, you know, quote Bible verses if you want me to. I could do that. I could create that facade. I'm a good enough actor where I could be the most uber Christian in the world. Not that I have a problem with Christians. I don't, but I know that their mindset and my mindset are going to collide, and we're going to crash. All right. So if I create that facade and I turn into this person because I realize, okay, well, these Christian guys, they got a lot of money, and I know they must have money because they just keep throwing it aimlessly in that plate at the church all the time. All right, so let me go after them because, you know, I could get clients at our churches, and I could be like, okay, hey, you guys have a church, you got some money, I could build your website for you. Well, guess what? Who's my client's going to be? My client is going to be a pain in my ass because I'm never going to be able to be myself around my client. And the second I slip up and I say the F-bomb in front of that client, they're going to fire me. I'm going to lose my clients. All right. But if I can just be myself, if I'm just myself, well, I'm going to attract the type of clients that I actually resonate with. I'm going to attract clients like me. I'm going to have customers like me that like me for me. And then there's not going to be any surprises to them. So I would say, start being yourself. That's it. If people don't like you, well, guess what? They're going to do, if people don't like you, guess what? One of two things are going to happen. I guarantee you, people won't like you. Lots of people don't fucking like me. And guess what? Fuck those people. Guess what else? The people that do like me, fuck those people too. They can change their minds in a fucking heartbeat. I don't care about any of those people. All right? If you are yourself, people will dislike you. And two things are going to happen with those people that dislike you. They're going to unfriend you. They're going to stop following you. And then they're just out of your life. Great. You don't have to worry about those people anymore. Or they're going to stick around, right? They're going to stick around and they're going to talk about you. All right. That's like free marketing. They're going to talk about you, or they're going to go to your post just like they did mine, and they're going to hate on you. Well, that's all great and all. So they hate on you. Guess what happens as soon as those people start hating on you? All those people that hate you, as soon as they start, you know, vocalizing that, well, guess what? You're going to actually create a bigger emotional bond, and you're going to create a more connection with the people that do like you. They're going to come to your defense, and they're going to be actually more connected to you. So that's all I can say, Hector. Just be yourself. That's what I would want people to do. The first thing is just be yourself. Start being yourself and get in a mindset and tell yourself that's okay. It's okay for people not to like you. It's okay for you to fail. The one thing that's not okay is for you to alter yourself and change who you are. It's okay to change who you are, but you should change who you are because that's what you want to do, and not because that's what you think is going to give you a better result or increase the money in your pocket.
There you go. So guys, we're coming up on, I don't know, John and I probably could talk for hours, but we're not going to do that to you guys. I'm not going to do that to myself. But if you guys have questions, now's the time to do it. I'm going to do kind of a recap on kind of summarizing what I think would be important for you guys to take away. And I think the first thing that John talked about was the mindset of like not caring, right? Of being yourself and not caring. I think we talked a lot about that, right? I think that like that's the first step, and there's a ton of self-awareness and knowing yourself. Then we talked about the second thing that I would say is, once you guys know that, you have to go out and actively create value in the marketplace. And I think too many people, they try and hide behind this, they see that image of someone sitting on a beach, with their laptop, getting a bunch of notifications, about in their bank account. And I think that although that lifestyle is possible, I think a lot of people miss what is required in order to create that, whether that is the massive amounts of time that it takes to really build a brand, or the amount of vulnerability and putting yourself out there that it takes to build a personal brand. And I think that, if you want the quick way, then your personal brand is going to be the quickest way to get someone to buy. There are ways to build brands without you putting yourself out there. But when we talk about what is the quickest way, if you want to see results and how quickly the course promised, then you're going to need to put yourself out there. And John talked about putting out content. Like it was really kind of incredible to see the rise, as an outsider of seeing John just post every day, right? He talked about, like, I don't think he meant, like, said it, but like every day. And I don't know if he wrote it down in a planner or he put a notification in his phone, or he was every day just working, but he would make a new post in these groups, and he just every day would make, create content and a new Facebook Live, and creating more content. And I think that in whatever capacity you need to do that. If it's a live video, if it's a blog, if it's answering on Quora, if it's answering questions in Facebook groups, I mean, like, finding a way to go out there and actively create value in the marketplace is huge, and doing it over and over again. So I think, in summation, and that's a lot of what John covered. And, if I missed anything, John, that you think would be valuable, now's the time to share it. But anything else that you wanted to cover?
I think you're in charge of the structuring, man. So
yeah, we've hit a lot of, and I think it's like what I think is great for an introduction is for them to get into, for them to peer into the mindset of what was necessary in order to build this so quickly. Because essentially, when you put your mind to it and you said that you were going to, do it, I think you came back from, you got back from one of your breaks, and within, the next 45 days or so, the community, or the company was funded. So I think that a lot of people, if they want to see quick results, they need to understand the mindset that was necessary to do that. And I think that we covered that today.
I would say to those people, you just need to drop that thought right now. So if you want to see quick results, and you need to stop and really evaluate, like, do you think that's achievable? Like, all right, so like I gave myself a year to accomplish this goal, like an entire year. I gave myself an entire year to accomplish this goal. Would I love to see quick results? Sure, fuck yeah, I would have loved to went to sleep and woke up the next day and had $100,000 in my bank account from these activities, right? Now, having $100,000 in my bank account from fucking getting somebody to pay me to build software, that's a different story. But the goals that I set to fund my company and to grow this organically through Facebook, it's like, if you're gonna if you really think that you're gonna get these really quick results, that's a pipe dream. It's not a sustainable thought. It's not a realistic expectation. I'm not going to say it's not possible. Sure, it's possible, but like, imagine just living your life every day. Every time. Imagine you go to the liquor store, or you go to the convenience store, and you buy a lottery ticket. You take your $1 and you buy a lottery ticket. And imagine if you make your mindset like, I'm gonna win, and you actually start to plan your life like, okay, I'm winning the lottery tomorrow. I do whatever the fuck I want, because tomorrow I'm gonna win the lottery. Well, guess what? Every time you're gonna see, you didn't fucking win the lottery, did you? Now, how is that going to change your mindset? How does that change your mind? How does that actually affect you personally? Because you didn't get what you expected. You didn't get what you were hoping to get. So I would tell those people that really think like, and I would tell those gurus too, who say, hey, do this and you're going to be rich, and this and time. I would say, you guys are full of shit. Shut the fuck up. You're selling people dreams that you're setting them up for failure. So that's a stupid model for you to do. And then the people who just think, okay, I'm going to have all these quick results really fast. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying that's a stupid thing. It's a stupid thought to go in from the beginning thinking, this is just going to happen so quickly, because it most likely won't. Like, I made, like, for RoboContact, we get, like, almost every day I get a sale in RoboContact now. It's like between $47 to $297 a month. Now, I made content for like 5 months straight. I would get in and make content, and literally it's like Literally, I would go in and make content, and I would show people, here's my software company. You see, I got 30 dudes sitting out here. They're all building software for my clients. Do you know where I got my clients from? I got it from this software right here. Literally, this software right here has generated me over $1 million in fucking revenue. This software right here. And I would show them how to use it. I'd be like, okay, this is how I generated my clients. This is exactly what I did step by step. This is how I use the software to find my ideal client, to go out and contact my ideal client. This software has made me $1 million, at least $1 million. More than that, just $1 million of client revenue, not to count all the money that I've been paid from people actually subscribing to use the software. And that message, like that message right there, I'd literally go in and show my bank account and fucking show, like, look, you see these past transactions? You see my available balance here? This comes from using this software right here. This is literally how I did it. And guess what? Did I wake up the next day and have 100,000 users in the fucking software and they were like, look, I saw John's video, he made $1 million? No. It's like, even with that, I had to go in and make content like every single day. And sometimes I would think like, you know what? I did this video yesterday. It was like yesterday I did the same video. I talked about the same thing yesterday. People are probably going to get mad at me and they're probably going to be like, John, why are you doing the same content every day? And you know what I would say to those people? Fuck you, don't watch my live video. If you don't like it because you saw it yesterday, don't watch it today, you know? It's like, why am I doing this every day? Because here's what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to sell this software. So it's not going to happen magically. This is my goal. If you don't like that, then just don't participate in my content. Don't watch my content and I'm fine with that.
So here's a question from an anonymous attendee, and I'm curious to get your answer. They said, isn't the program called, they said, I'm wondering, isn't this program called 0 to 90 days, 60K? And I think that the answer is yes. So as we wrap up here for those people who
For sure. So why is it called from $0 to $60,000 in less than 90 days? Well, that's why right there. Like if you look now, ClickFunnels doesn't let me go. ClickFunnels doesn't let me go any farther than these 3 months, but somewhere in all my pictures here, I've got somewhere an actual picture where literally this day you could see it was the 24th. So it was actually the 24th of August was when I made my first dollar through ClickFunnels. This is when I made my very first sale, my very first dollar that I ever made through ClickFunnels. And then yes, 90 days later, I had made over $60,000 through the exact process that we're going to describe inside this course. Look, while I've been on this course a minute ago, I made another $62. So yes, this course is called from 0 to $60,000 in less than 90 days, because that is exactly why is it called that? Because that was my results. Because within less than 90 days, I went from $0 to over $60,000 in less than 90 days. And I thought that would be a good name for the course. How the fuck did I do that? Well, that's what the course is about. And that's what me and Hector are going to go through. And this has been an intro. This right here has been an intro that is not a little paid module in your course. It is for literally, who has this been for? It's really just been for everybody that's on the fence, and it's been for, I can show you. You want to see who this is for? I'll show you who this is for. All right. And you might be one of these guys. All right. Maybe anonymous attendee is one of these guys. It's for these guys right here. You see these guys right here, these 129 people right here. It's for those fucking people right there. This video is for these guys right here, the people who are interested but didn't actually buy.
There you go. As we wrap up in a couple of the last couple of minutes here, throw your questions if you guys have any. We answered all of the ones that were asked. We answered them. So if you're like, wow, they didn't cover this, that's your fault because you didn't ask the question. So throw it down there in the next couple of minutes. But I think what I was taking from in looking at those numbers was that John did not just stop at like one product, one funnel. You know, he had obviously a luxury of having different tools and softwares that he had built, but he kept, you know, churning out new funnels, new softwares, new tools. And so it was just, if this one didn't work the way that he wanted, he tweaked it and he turned it and he kept making, you know, new content, new funnels, new pages, new everything. And I think that was a big reason why he got there so quickly too. So as you guys were looking at it, it was really from a myriad of different products and offers and softwares. So that was a big thing that I wanted to highlight for the viewers.
Sure. Well, you definitely can't just have one thing you sell. I mean, you can have one thing that you can have one thing that you sell, sure, but you're probably going to get farther if you have more than one thing that you can offer people.
So John, let's say, do you think that it's possible to go and to do what you did with the tier 5 softwares? Let's say I'm a community member, I'm a tier 5 partner, and I have access to these tools. Can I use these tools to go out and have the same, like could I potentially, not saying that you're going to, but is it possible? Let's say I don't have a product to sell, I don't have a service to sell, but could I actually sell the softwares, or how do you see the tools being able to fit into that kind of equation?
For sure. I mean, for sure you could sell the tier 5 softwares alone. You could go from $0 to $60,000 in less than 90 days from affiliate marketing. All right. Like literally, if you watch Russell Brunson, that dude fucking showed a guy that went from $0 to $100,000 in less than 90 days selling fucking Sasquatch tours, like literally tours in the woods to go find a fucking fictitious creature. Like, what is the function? What is the function that describes, can you do that? How much are you really willing to put in?
Anonymous attendee asks, they say, I want to do some market research about building an offer for that market. What do you think? What's your thought process when you are creating a new tool or creating a new product from scratch?
For me, it's like, what is the problem that I'm having? So for me, it's like I look at everyday problems that I have, like every software that we've created so far as literally, did I create that for the rest of the world? No, I created that for me because I actually needed that software in my everyday business practices. So it's like, so it's like, what would help me? That's how I actually, that's how I create my stuff. Like what's the problem that I actually myself need solved? You know, and if I need it solved and I create that product, well, even if it doesn't sell, even if nobody buys it, well, guess what? My problem's solved, which means my life is easier, and I can then maybe free up some time to figure out what I could sell. But most likely, if I have the problem, other people are actually going to have the problem, and they'll buy my thing.
There you go, anonymous user. That's your answer. We're a couple minutes over, guys. So if you guys have questions, throw them down there before we get up out of here, because I have to pee. So my bladder's screaming right now. So you guys got to throw your questions down. Otherwise, one panda's going to get out of here soon. John, did we miss anything? Any burning stuff that, we went through the outline, and I think that I wanted to get them a peek into your brain, because, the title of this course is the Change My Life course. And I think that with this, being able to download some of your mindset is really probably the biggest value, because although you do a lot of training on the tech, and although you create some powerful softwares, I think your own personal operating system is at a really high level that most people don't really understand. So I think that this was a great, just a great peek behind the curtain, or look behind the brain, if you will. So thanks for that.
Well, for me, it just all starts with what do you really want? It's like, for me, like, what's my ultimate goal is to be able to understand the reality in which I exist in, right? So my ambition and my passion is to be able to understand how I'm able to have a consciousness and what is this weird construct that my consciousness exists in, right? So that's what, if I could figure that out, at that point, when I figured that out, at that point, maybe I could begin to think, okay, well, now I could go on vacation. Now I could just, buy my jet and fly around the world and, get drunk with strippers or whatever. So for me, I have a, what's that?
Will the strippers really matter at that point if you can go to another dimension and find another stripper there? These strippers are gonna lose their appeal.
So I mean, for me, Hector's like, the way I look at the world is different than the average person. Like when I look at the world, and my brain looks at things in complexities. So it's like why do I not care about, why do I say I don't care about people and I don't give a fuck about people? Because for me, the human, like the human species is a very small amount of all living organisms, right? So it's like for me, let's say I solve cancer. Let's say I create a cure for cancer. It's like, from one perspective, have I done anything good whatsoever, right? Have I done any good thing whatsoever? Well, from a human perspective, sure. From a human perspective, lots of people will be like, yay, John, you did a great job, What about from an ant's perspective? Is any ant going to come up and congratulate me and say, thanks a lot, John? Now there's more of these little bastards, just burning me with magnifying glasses. Is there any butterfly or grasshopper that's going to just come up to me and be like, congratulations, John, here's your award? No, there's at least 1,000 ants for every human being that exists, right? So no matter what I do, it is meaningless in the grand scheme of the picture, in the larger picture. There's a much larger picture here, right? So because of that, because I realize, hey, if I go solve, cancer, or even if I decode human consciousness, is that going to matter to other things? Probably not. So because that, it kind of liberates me to be able to do whatever the fuck I want to do and follow my own dreams and follow my own ambitions, because I realize that even if I change my ambitions, that it doesn't really matter that much. Even I'm going to die, and then the world's going to collapse, the star's going to blow up, and all memories of me or anything I've ever accomplished is just going to disappear. So that kind of, to me, it's a liberation that I can just I'm free to go do what I want to do, and if the world hates me for that, well, most of the people in the world are fucking stupid anyway. So it doesn't bother me if they hate me and they don't like what it is I'm trying to accomplish. I'm going to do me, and that's what I'm going to do. So, and that's what I would encourage other people to do, is do the things that you're really passionate about, and you do that thing, follow your heart and your dreams and do the things that you really actually enjoy doing, and stop living a facade.
You heard it. We'll do these more often. We'll do these again. There's a ton of other trainings in there. There's a Zapier training that's coming. There's ClickFunnels training. So you'll get all the pieces. Stick around. Keep coming back. You'll get all the tools for sure. All right, John. I gotta get out of here.
I appreciate it, man. See you on the next one, brother.
See you later. See you guys.
So that was an intro. I thought I would let all you guys come. That was not rehearsed or not scripted. I am not like an expert course creator. All right. So I am not an expert course creator. I'm pretty good at creating software. Not so great at creating courses, but I'm thinking that, not thinking that it's going to be super hard. The chatbot course is created already. The Zapier course, we did actually already start, and we got through 4 lessons, and we'll be continuing those. Those are going to be live. So if you guys have any specific things that, you want to go over in Zapier, then we can do that. But we are literally going to be going over the exact the exact training material that you need to know for Zapier University 101 and Zapier University 102, where as soon as we're done with the training, you can physically go in and you can take Zapier University 101 and you can take Zapier University 102 and you can walk out guaranteed a certified Zapier expert. All right. In ClickFunnels, in the ClickFunnels course, what we're going to cover is pretty much all your technical questions around setting up ClickFunnels and setting up all your integrations and setting up any of the automations that you need to go with ClickFunnels, and then the general stuff that I've learned from watching all the ClickFunnels courses about 3 or 4 times, all the videos that came with funnel hacking secrets. So all about what funnels to create and how to structure your offer and how to actually build a sexy offer and all that good stuff. All right. So so to answer your question, anonymous attendee, I wish you weren't anonymous so I could know who the fuck you were. Is it necessary to do all this technical stuff if you can sell, like building bots, etc.? Is it necessary? No. I mean, is it necessary to wipe your ass after you take a shit? No, it's not. You could just not wipe and just, I mean, I don't think anything bad would happen other than you would smell really bad. All right. So is it necessary? No. I mean, it's not necessary whatsoever, but is it going to allow you to be more effective? Is it going to allow you to be more efficient? Is it going to allow you to be able to actually service more people? Yeah, sure. Like point in case, I have a bunch of different softwares. Every one of those softwares has a chat bot, and most of the support that actually happens, you know, most of the questions that people ask or most of the issues that come into support are answered automatically without any human interaction because the chat bot just, you know, responds back to that. So is it necessary? No, it's not necessary, but it is helpful. It is very, very helpful to leverage technology as much as possible. So so not necessary, no. Anonymous attendee, definitely not necessary, but for sure, it is for sure helpful, and it is for sure helpful. So I wouldn't want to do it without technology myself personally. Do you guys have any other questions, or should I go now? Because those of you who actually paid for the course, I know some of you guys are getting impatient, and I will happily refund any of you guys who don't think that my 130 hours of my time is worth $62, which is actually the current price is now. The current price is now $63 because 2 people signed up on this video right here. So anybody who doesn't think that that my 130 hours of my time is worth $63, and feel free to just message me and say, you know, hey, John, I'm not liking this. So any other questions that you guys could possibly have? If not, then I'm going to go back to work and do some productive stuff here. So I think everybody's good. So thank you so much for coming. And I will see you on the next one. All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.